Welcome jet boaters and race fans to day 6 of the 2019 World Jet Boat Championships here in Grande Prairie, Alberta. Today's video brought to you by Above and Beyond Compression. In behind me you can see the jet boaters going through the drivers meeting here at Magoo's Landing. They're going through the race course, which is over 60 miles one way of racing, so a total of 120 plus combined miles going up to Smoky Flats and back today. The jet boaters are in for an exciting day. If it was anything like day 5 with lead changes and spin ups, and I'm sure day 6 video is going to be just as exciting. Jeremy currently sitting second overall in the unlimited class. You had a great start in Peace River. How are you going to keep reeling in Ross here in Grande Prairie and then heading into Taylor?
Still a lot of racing left to do. You know, we got 7 legs, so I think the biggest thing for me is just to stay consistent. You know, prepping the boat, prepping the runs, and making sure we're keeping everything tight. He's got a lot more horsepower than we do, a lot more experience than we do, and we just got to run a solid and consistent race.
John, you're no stranger to racing, New Zealand champ many times over, and you're over here helping Darren and the crew this week. How's it been so far for you?
It's been a long week. It's quite a hard work, being a trailer driver and working on boats, so it's good to be over here, and we can't race, so good to be involved.
We really appreciate you coming over here and seeing your face around the races. Always makes the Canadian Marathon that much better. Have you been giving Darren any pointers here, or how to move up in his position?
I've been trying to, but I don't think it's very good at listening to anyone. So, but look, yeah, it's a new boat for him and a new package. So they had a bad accident last year, and you know they're just getting their head around things. And you know, one of the reasons I'm not racing is because of that as well. So yeah, that takes its time.
What's in store for you in the future?
We'll be back for the US next year. So either leave a boat here or come back and then look forward to New Zealand again.
Awesome, John. Thanks very much for coming over.
Thank you.
A huge thanks to not only John, but all the international racers and their friends and families who've made the 2019 marathon as fantastic as it's been so far. And it's fitting that the first boat away and our current overall leader is an international racer from the US, Ross Schlotauer. And although our chopper had no chance of keeping up with Ross's 2,000 plus horsepower turbine boat, it was in fact the Kiwi team of Nigel Cromie and Bruce Alexander who set the fastest time for the upstream leg. Sitting right between Ross and Nigel in the second place overall is racer Jeremy Hand, and he's had an incredible showing with this beautiful turbine boat. You can't count out Rick Hollingworth in CDN1, who won the world's title last year they were held in Canada back in 2015. Rick seems to have got his fueling issues figured out, and will now be trying to make up time on Jeremy, Nigel, and Ross. The A-class leader, Tim Greber, extended his lead by almost a half a minute on the upstream run over Darren Cage. Tim has been running an extremely fast yet consistent marathon this year. Some drama began to ensue once the CX boats began reaching our ground camera. First with second place CX boat Tim Harding, missing the main water and hopping off a fairly dead and hard to read section of water. Jake Barney was too busy fixing the boat yesterday to pre-run, and he decided against going out the hard way from this dead channel.
We lost a master battery switch, and could have been the battery, don't know. We changed battery switch, went through all the wiring. Hopefully we got her figured out. We'll see. We got no GPS, no notes. We never pre-ran, so it's gonna be a good day.
Stacy Kelm was the next victim through the channel. Kelly Locke redeemed himself yesterday after suffering that DNF upstream and came back today to set the fastest upstream leg amongst the CX class. He managed to get around Roger Preston as they turned off the Wapiti River and began up the Smoky. Not long after the shot was taken, Roger was cruising to the finish line when his conrod blew out the side of the block, stopping the motor instantaneously.
Well, we were nearly at the finish line, Mike. We're only a mile down from the bridge here, and we're cruising along 6,000 RPM, and she went back to zero and split second, and we were floating.
You come all the way over from New Zealand racing the CX class expecting these motors to hold out their entire marathon. You didn't expect a DNF because of a motor, I don't think.
No, definitely. I obviously always said that someone would stress test their motor today, and we certainly did.
Yeah, these long legs in the marathon certainly do put the motors to the test, holding them at 6,000 RPM for so long like that. What are we looking at here, Raj? What piece is this here?
Oh, that's part of the conrod, Mike. So it just let go beside the starter motor, put a wee hole in the side of the block. Yeah, so that, no, it's a long way up here, and we were sort of full noise most of the way, and it just didn't quite get here.
You guys were sitting third coming into today in the CX class, ever competitive. You were moving up every day and just racing really well, and it's kind of an unfortunate way to end today. Are you guys going to be able to try and put this thing back together and keep racing for the rest of the marathon, you think?
Well, we may do, Mike. There's other parts around that we've been offered, so we'll see what happens overnight and whether we attack the beers or attack the spanners. So we'll make a decision soon.
Bryan, coming up to McLoed Flats today, it's the longest leg of the marathon. You had a DNF. What happened to the boat?
Well, nothing happened to the boat. We did a stupid thing and took a wrong turn. Or missed the turn, I guess you'd say.
So we start downstream on the Wapiti, then you got to make a hard right, come up on the Smoky up to McLoed Flats here. You miss the turn.
Yeah.
And that happens. So navigator's fired. Now who do you got in the passenger seat?
I don't know. This Kiwi wants to navigate for me now, so we'll see.
More missed GPS points with the Miss Edie crew as Darren attempts to turn out of a dead water channel and can't quite get that boat spun around.
Well, I told him to go left, and he went left. Maybe a little too soon, but yeah, we got a little scrambled, and we went in a bit too tight, and we were committed, so we had to get around and do some pushing.
A 60-mile, 63-mile run like this, there's probably a lot of notes a navigator's got to make.
We do. We ran it a couple times yesterday, and kind of thought I knew where I was going, but said we went in a little too deep too soon, and that was it.
You managed to get the boat back pushed out on your own power, and then back into the finish?
Yeah, we did. It was just a bit of sand there, so it was easy to push out and get started again, and lost some time, but didn't wreck anything, so it was good. Try again.
We're trying to run right at the front of the pack. Not necessarily first place, but Gord and Jeremy and I have been pretty much running together, and we just want to stay right in that pack and not push any harder than we have to.
As the marathon begins to take its toll on the crews, the drivers get the boats in the water and prepare to go back downstream. An action began for the second place A boat Shockwave even before the start line. They suffered a DNS after their motor stalled while idling at the start line, pushing them into some rapids and almost losing their boat altogether.
Let my foot off just a bit and it coughed and loaded up, killed it, hit the starter and really slow, would not pick up. And then we got a little panicky because we had to get the paddles. We were up on a ledge there. So as we were coming down, the boat's backwards going through the rapids. First one took a little drink. Next one, we're big drink. So
you thought you were going under.
We totally thought we were, and then the bow just happened to grab the current and spun us around like a canoe, and then we went through the rest of the rapids the right way.
So you give Tim a little bit of breathing room going into Taylor, but your boat's still in one piece.
It is.
You're still running great, so you're going to be bringing the heat in Taylor.
I'm not slacking off, that's for sure.
Okay, Derry. The run back downstream started once again with the overall leader Ross, who had another solid run, which was just edged out by the Kiwis once again. And once again, Jeremy Hand was having a great run heading downstream, when he suffers a mechanical issue, what we presume to be a gearbox related, leaving him stranded in the river with no chance of finishing. So now, with this unfortunate turn of events, the Kiwis jump into second place and will now be really putting the pedal down to try and catch Ross. In the CX boats, Justin Hill finishes day 6 atop the class, while Tim Harding still sits second, and with Jake Barney and Roger Preston failing to finish yesterday and today, Kelly Locke claws his way back into the podium with 2 quick time legs in the CX class. 3 FX class boats of Josh Inman, Josh Becker, and Gerald Gayton all suffered DNFs today, which left Tanner Froelich with an over 10-minute lead over Gerald going into Taylor. Following a DNS on the way up to McLoed Flats, the Just One More crew were able to get the mechanical issues fixed and back in the water for the downstream leg.
The ring gear, so on the flex plate, the ring gear and the flex plate come loose and it just spins, so it wouldn't start the engine. So we tried to get it started, tried to get it fixed before our start time, but just wasn't going to happen, so we had to take a DNS.
Oh, it's great to see your crew trailer the boat up here, and you're going to be running back downstream.
Yeah, we're going to run back down. I got a great crew, so thanks for them. We are going to run again, and you never know, it ain't over till it's over. So
that's the spirit. All right, Randy, thanks. Good luck in the rest of the marathon.
Thank you.
Huge thanks to Above and Beyond Compression for sponsoring today's Day 6 highlight video. Grand Prairie's been a challenging stop for a lot of competitors in the marathon. Gord Humphrey yesterday, who was sitting first overall, he gets knocked out. Today, Jeremy Hand, sitting second overall, is now knocked out. As we travel to Taylor, British Columbia, tomorrow's a down day, so you can expect to see us highlighting some interviews and recapping the events of the marathon to this point. So you'll check out that video tomorrow.